at the end of the day, sometimes you have to be an asshole. You can't do anything about it. You've reached the point where you're like, okay, what am I going to do? You think I'm a jerk. You think I'm this. You think I'm that. So fine, I am. Hey everybody, this is Gregory Paul Kotsaftis of the Pitching the Truth podcast. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode. And as always, thank you so much for listening. Hey there. Hello everyone. Welcome to Pitching the Truth. This is Greg Kotsaftis, your host for your weekly podcast of truth, honesty, and just trying to live the best possible life. Man, things have been pretty crazy for me recently. I've been actively working on myself and trying to do different things and trying to be more focused on what's important for my own growth, trying to grow as a person to become a better person each and every day. I've gotten a little muddled down with work and just got married, as you all know, and things like that kind of slowed me down a little bit, but the meditation never stopped. The journaling never stopped. The thoughts and prayers never stop. I always try to make sure that I'm bettering myself as a human being each and every day. So today, what do we want to talk about? Today I want to talk about what happens when people cannot let go of your past. I've recently had an experience with some family members who want to rehash mistakes that I made 12 years ago. And yes, I've apologized multiple times. I'm not even going to exaggerate how many times, but let's just say it's a lot. Different varying ways of what an asshole I was, what an inconsiderate jerk I was at that point in time in my life. Self-centered, narcissistic, rude, not a good family member person forever, for a long, long time. That was me. That was what I did. That hurt a lot of my family members, and I've apologized and I've made amends. I've done everything I can to try to make it better. So what do you do when somebody, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, things just don't change. Things stay the same because this person, the person on the other side of it, can't let it go. And this just recently happened to me within the last week. And finally, I literally started saying, I can't do this anymore. I can't continue to go back to the past and rehash this. I've got to let it go. I can't do it anymore. So you're listening to how I'm talking when I say I can't, I, me. I really try not to use those words. And this person I spoke to really hounds on those words, the pronouns. I don't like those pronouns. I don't like the pronouns you're using. Hey, guess what? Tough shit. They're the pronouns. They are what they are. I've told you 1,000 times I can't do this anymore. I don't want to talk about it. There's nothing I can do to change the past. And my actions each and every day have been positive since. I've been trying to do my best to be a better person in our relationship, me and this other person. And I've been trying to help this other person. And I continue to try to help this other person. But yet, we have to recycle back to the past over and over and over again. Now, if you'd asked me this question a year ago, I probably would have had a different answer. I would have been more open-minded to trying to work it out, continuing to be kind of on the defensive of like, well, Greg, you did do these things. You were a bad person, and you definitely hurt some people, and you still need to continue to punish yourself, beat yourself over the head, because you hurt these people. And then one day, I don't know what happened, but it clicked. Like, no more. I am literally coming out of the woods after some major mistakes in my life. And it's taken, friends, 7 years on the last major mistake I made, which caused me to get incarcerated. And this incident we're talking about here was 12 years ago. So when do you call it quits? When do you say you can't be in the defensive anymore? You can't be on your heels. You can't be begging for forgiveness anymore. It just doesn't matter. And the funny thing is, the people that are doing it to me are family members. They're supposed to be the ones that are closest and maybe the most forgiving, but it turns out they're not. They're the most judgmental people that want to hold on to things and continue to try to beat me over the head over and over and over again with it. And I just can't do it anymore. I can't. And, I will say this also, when I say family members, it's my direct family. My children have done this to me. And I basically cut them off and said, I'm done. We don't talk about it anymore because I can't go back there. I'm happy. I've got a great wife. My life is solid. I'm doing a lot of great things for the community. I really want to get active in criminal justice reform and do other things even beyond what I'm doing now. And I know that I'm on the right path. I know I'm a good person that tries to help others. And these people literally want to recycle back over what happened to them years ago and how it hurt them. Now, I can't be that much of a dick, even though I literally am kind of being a dick, kind of being an asshole. I don't know if you guys heard my other podcast or saw the article I wrote about why everybody loves an asshole, because at the end of the day, sometimes you have to be an asshole. You can't do anything else about it. You've reached the point where you're like, okay, what am I going to do? You think I'm a jerk. You think I'm this. You think I'm that. So fine, I am. If that's what you want to think, that's up to you. That's your choice. It's your thoughts. I can't control what you think. I can only control my actions. And I know I'm being a good person. So I've really spent a lot of time working on that and reflecting on it, and just realized it's holding me back. That's been the hardest part of this whole thing. People want to keep pulling me back there, pull you back. They don't even know the things I'm doing now to help others or to become a better person. They just want to recycle the old news over and over and over again. And I don't know if it's because they're expecting some different answer from me, but honestly, I think it came down to I was trying to be really nice and kind and kill it with kindness over and over and over again. And honestly, I think that made it worse. That made people more irritated because they're like, well, you just don't get it. You don't understand. And I'm like, well, you're right. I don't. And I'm sorry that happened. And, give them a little love and logic and a little slow it on down back to their level. And that just infuriated them even more. So now you know what I've decided? I get called a narcissist. Yeah, I am. Sorry, but part of my personality is definitely a little bit narcissistic. Doesn't mean I'm a horrible person. But if you say I am, sure, why not? I take the power away because at the end of the day, their points are somewhat valid. And at the end of the day, I know who I am, trying to do good things. It's not a great trait to have, but at the same time, we are a little bit narcissistic, at least some people that I know are, and there's nothing you can do about it. Here's what it is. So I don't want to focus on that anymore. I just let it go. People say, well, you did this, you abandoned me. That's another relative. Well, yes, I did, and I'm sorry that happened. But you did, and they keep going back, and I'm like, listen, we can't talk about it anymore. And then I got defensive and said, well, everybody got abandoned because all of my family and friends literally turned their back on me when everything happened and left me there, and I had to beg and scrap and scrounge just to get in their relative good graces. And at the end of the day, that's when I realized, hey, these people don't give a shit about me. Honestly, they don't. All they want to do is bitch and moan about all the problems I've done and the things I've done in the past, and that's not happening anymore. Because I'm looking forward, not back. I'm trying to find new opportunities to help people and be a better person and a better man. I'm trying to create a legacy for myself that I rebounded the second half of my life and became a stronger and more powerful person. And most importantly, that I helped others learn from my mistakes and I moved forward. These are the things that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do really hard and difficult things that are challenging me every day. Because honestly, I could sit back and make a reasonable living and read my books and hang out and not share this podcast and be very, very happy. I could definitely do that and just kick back and see what happens. But that's not who I am. And I will be more disappointed with myself than I would with anybody else if that's what I decided to do with the rest of my life. So for all of you out there who's getting your head kicked in, who somebody's just telling you you're a piece of dirt, whether it's a boss or a girlfriend or your parents or your siblings or friends, whoever, just remember one thing. Their opinions are their own opinions. They don't matter. If your actions do not match their opinions, if your actions are true and you're trying to better yourself every day, that's all you need to do. You don't need to sit back. You don't have to kiss their ass. You don't have to rehash the past and go back and apologize again and again and again. I don't know how many apologies are acceptable. Honestly, I just kind of reached a wall where I was like, screw it, I can't do this anymore. And I guess what really happens is when you reach the point that you don't care anymore, if you ever speak to this person again, family or not, that's a tipping point for me. And that's kind of where I'm at. I've reached that tipping point. I can go out and find 10 new people right now off the street that'll treat me better than some of my family members. So there's no reason for it. So that's kind of a heavy podcast for you. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it resonates with you. I'm sure we all have relatives and friends that are in that philosophy right now. Sometimes people are mad because of something you did that you don't even know what it is, or it just makes no sense. So keep your head up. Stay strong. Don't be scared to be an asshole. Yes, maybe you're a bit narcissistic, but at the end of the day, just do your best. Do your best. Try to be a good person. Take it one day at a time. And remember, coming from a man who lost everything, a man who had to go to jail, a man who had to regroup, find new friends, start all over again, it is easily possible. And at the end of the day, I would never trade the life I have now, the people that I have in my life now, for the old people that I had there before. I would never go back and try to get them back in my life, especially some of my family members, because I could really care less. Because at the end of the day, sometimes the people that are just kind and generous off the street are the people you want to be with. I just want to be around positive energy, and I want you guys to do the same. So thanks again for so much for listening. And as always, try to leave me a review down below here on iTunes or Stitcher or Lisbon, wherever you're listening to this podcast. And we will talk again real soon. Thanks.